This is Skylar with Melton Truck Lines.
Hello, I'm Leslie Vincent with Melton Truck Lines.
And we're here to talk to you a little bit today about, our hiring process, kind of what Melton's all about, and what you can do to get on with us and really answer any questions you have about our company, about flatbed, about over the road, and really everything in general. So just a little bit about me. I've been at Melton for a little over 5 years. I'm a field recruiting specialist and been recruiting the whole time I've been at Melton, and I love it and wouldn't change a thing.
That's awesome. My name, again, is Leslie, and I manage our field recruiting program here at Melton. I've been at Melton for almost 23 years, be 23 years in May, the whole time in the recruiting department. That's how much we love recruiting here at Melton.
Yeah.
To be in this department for that long, and Skylar too, is kind of a testament on just how we love this company. But it's 23 years for providing so many great things for our drivers. But yeah, that's how long I've been here, and right now I manage our field recruiting program, and we get to go to schools and talk to people about the great opportunities at Melton.
Yeah, exactly. So we are an over-the-road flatbed carrier. So we are exclusively flatbed. We do have a few step decks here and there, but we don't do drive-in, we don't do reefer, no tanker, but we will train you on everything flatbed. So we don't require any experience. We will make sure that you are prepared, so that way when you're out on the road, you know what you're doing, you know everything you need to know. And if you have questions, of course, you'll have somebody be able to reach out to. So a little bit of the hiring process would be, completing an application with us. We use 10th Street Driver Pulse. So if you have the app, all you have to do is just find us and submit it. Super easy. Doesn't take that long if you already have the application filled out. Once you submit it, we'll do an interview over the phone, run reports, make sure everything matches up, and we will, of course, call you to do that, and then bring you in for an orientation. Of course, we can do orientations. We have them every Monday. It's really whatever works best with your schedule. We can discuss that with you personally, go over transportation and things like that. So that's just a little bit of the overview of the hiring process. So let's talk a little bit about what makes Melton a little bit different than some other companies maybe you've heard from or will hear from eventually.
Yeah, and so a couple of the things I'm going to talk about is about how Melton does care. But if you have this brochure, I'm not sure if you do or not, this is a really good brochure that talks about us, and I'm kind of going to read some of these things from in here. But one of the things that we talk about is the fact that Bob Peterson, the owner of Melton's, got a CDL. And so I always ask people, why do you think that that's important? And, the obvious answer is because he knows he can, talk the talk and walk the walk. Bob went to a truck driving school, to get his CDL in Missouri, and then actually worked for a trucking company in Missouri for several years, learned the business, bought Melton Truck Lines, the flatbed carrier, and has ran a very successful company since. Bob meets with our drivers a lot. We have these roundtable discussions to talk about what we're doing right, what we're not doing right, maybe suggestions on how we can do things better. And he doesn't act on everyone, but he acts on a lot.
Yes.
And that is just really, really cool that he meets with these drivers, our drivers, to find out what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong.
Yeah, and I can think of like 5 right off the top of my head of policy changes just from the roundtables and driver surveys and things like that that we have changed and made into effect.
Yes, cool. No, exactly. We have this thing called Work Count too that allows drivers to kind of have a voice in the company. So, we read those and take all that information very seriously. We get to know you and your family. We have 24/7 support. And, what I mean by get to know you and your family and 24/7 support. So our driver managers get to know their drivers and their families, and they call them by their name, not just a truck number or a driver code. We have 24/7 support, and what I mean by that is like 24/7 safety, 24/7 dispatch, 24/7 someone in the shop, roadside assistance. Those things you want the support, as much support as you can get when you're on the road, because you're out there, and you got to have those things happen at 2 a.m. So that's why we have just you covered with support.
Yeah, and we don't want any of our drivers to ever feel like they're alone out on the road. So that's why we kind of offer a lot of these things to our drivers.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. So the equipment,
Yes.
Skylar's going to talk about, and it's like one of my favorite things because our equipment's like so cool.
Yes, yes. So I don't know if you've seen any of our trucks out there. You might have gathered that a lot of our things are blue. That's kind of our color, is Melton blue. You may see some other colors out there, and you'd be like, hey, I thought she said all the trucks at Melton are blue. That's not necessarily true. There's a handful out there, about 140, that are different colors, and they're a variety. Really any color that you could think of, and it's out there. And the reason behind that is because they have over 1 million miles with us, 1, 2, or even 3. And then once you hit those certain mile markers, you get to pick the truck color, the brand. There's a whole bunch of other perks too, but if you just so happen to see a Melton truck that's not blue, that's the reason behind that. But if you decide to come to Melton, before of course you hit those 1 million miles, you would get assigned a blue truck. It would either be a Kenworth T680, a Peterbilt, or a Freightliner. Now regardless of the brand, they're going to be all automatic, and they have the same perks kind of on the inside. So they have an 1800 watt inverter, they have a fridge, and a double bunk bed. So that inverter is super important. You know, if you want to cook a meal, watch some TV, play some video games, you know, really just do anything to kind of relax and have a nice evening after a long day of driving, that's what that inverter is for. So we want to make sure our drivers are comfortable when they're out on the road. So we already install it. It's already ready for you. All you just have to bring is the equipment that you want to bring to power. So our drivers get really creative. You know, we want to make sure it's your home away from home and cook a nice meal. That's kind of where the fridge comes in as well. Save a little bit of money, eat a little bit healthier, things like that. So double bunk bed too as well. So if you wanted to have a rider with you, which we'll go over here in a minute about our rider policy, but some drivers use that for storage as well. So there's a lot of options. You can kind of make it your own whenever you're in your truck. Now, when I mean by make it your own, that's your truck. No one else is going to be driving in that truck but you. So you take your truck and trailer home with you on home time. Now, if you don't have a place to park it, we can help you find a place in your area. You know, so don't worry too much about that. If you live in like an apartment or a subdivision or something like that, we can help you. Don't let that hinder you from finding a good position. We can make sure you are taken care of. Now, I'd say about a year ago at this point, we recently increased our govern speed from 65 to 68. And like Leslie mentioned before, you know, we had our round tables and our surveys. That's kind of what drivers mentioned consistently, is that they wanted to go faster. So Bob took that into account, and, you know, from 65 to 68, and you'd be surprised, those 3 miles per hour really make a difference to our drivers and to you know, load times and getting to shippers faster. So we really took that into account. I think it's pretty cool.
I do too.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it kind of goes into making a little bit more money because you get there a little bit quicker. So what about our pay?
Oh, the pay. So when you are fresh out of school and you'll go through orientation and such, and then you'll go out with a trainer, which I believe we'll talk about
we'll talk about that
in a little bit, just so you guys know how that process works. But once you get off your trainer truck, you're going to start at 52 cents a mile. And that's loaded and that's empty. And that's very, very, very important to remember, because not everybody's going to pay the same loaded and empty. And empty means, obviously, what?
You don't have a load on your truck.
So if you don't have a load, sometimes some people will be like, okay, well, we're going to pay you less. Okay, ask about that when you're talking to other trucking companies. What are you paying? Are you paying 52 cents? Is that loaded and empty? Because it should be. And that's what we do. So if we deadhead, and deadhead means like we have to send you somewhere to pick up a load, you're empty, we're going to pay you for the same on the miles, 52 cents a mile, no matter what. After you've been with us for 6 months, you're going to go to 53 cents a mile. And then at a year, you'll be at 58. And again, those are all loaded and empty miles. And then it just goes up and up and up from there. We've got some other pay incentives that Skylar's going to talk to you about. So,
Yeah.
and I did want to mention our average miles right now, I think just came out the other day, is around 2,000 to 2,500 miles a week.
Yeah.
So when you talk to one of our recruiters, you guys are going to find that what her and I are saying to you today is pretty much 99% of what we're saying, maybe even 100%. A recruiter at Melton will almost mirror everything we're talking about.
And right now we do cap out at 65 on our cents per mile. So we do, keep going up and up. After you hit a certain time with us, your pay is based on, miles with us. So at certain mile markers is when your pay goes up as opposed to time. So at 120,000 Melton miles is when you hit when you hit 60 cents a mile, which typically takes about 15 months, give or take. So, at 1 year, you're at 58, give or take like 3-ish months, you're bumped up to 60. So that increase of pay goes pretty quick. So don't think that you're going to be, at 52 forever.
Right.
You're going to go up in about a year, almost 10 cents. So that's a very fast increase. And then, like she said, loaded in and empty.
Yep.
But we do have some, of course, extra pay opportunities. Now, since we are a flatbed carrier, you do have to secure and tarp all your loads. Now, this is super important. This is not going to be an easy job all the time. So, drivers that drive flatbed really like to be outside. They like to work with their hands, maybe a little bit more physical job that they've done in the past. Because our tarps, they weigh about 90 pounds. So you have to be able to lift that, get that up and over your load in all types of weather conditions, things like that. So if it's 110 in Texas, you're going to be securing and tarping, And if it's like today in Oklahoma, it's cold, it's rainy, things like that. So just be prepared for that. But that's why we do pay you extra. We pay you an extra $100 to tarp your load. And as far as I know, that's the highest in the industry. And we check that frequently with other companies. And we really pride ourselves on that. And that equates to about an extra 6 cents a mile if you want to kind of calculate your pay that way.
Yep.
But you'll tarp maybe 2 to 3 times a week, so that's an extra $200 to $300 without even having to drive.
Yeah.
The physical aspect is there, but it's not going to be every day, all day. It's just a good way to stay in shape, get in shape a little bit more if you want to have that more active lifestyle as a driver as opposed to just like bumping up to docks. So it's pretty cool. Now we do have some other extra pay if you wanted to take advantage of this. So hazmat pays an extra 6 cents a mile. Going into Canada pays an extra 6 cents a mile. And over-dimensional or oversized loads, that pays an extra 16 cents a mile. Now those are all optional. Of course, you would need the correct, permits and endorsements for that before you can take those. But it's not really based on seniority. It's kind of based on wherever the load is and wherever you are as a driver. Just let us know if you want to take them. Now, tuition reimbursement, if you are a student, we do reimburse up to $10,000 for the school. Now, I'm actually the one that personally does it, so all I need is just a receipt that shows your name, school name, and how much you paid, and we'll reimburse you up to $10,000. It is $150 a month, and it goes directly to you, tax-free, so it's your responsibility to pay back the school. Now, if you've already paid back the school, if you paid cash or something like that, then you just keep that money. That is yours to have. Now, we'll talk a little bit more about our military programs as well. So say if you used your GI Bill to pay for the school, we will actually reimburse you for your GI Bill too. So that's a pretty cool opportunity for our veterans. Now, we all know how expensive gas and fuel is these days. No different for us. That's how we keep our trucks running. But we will reward you just for helping us out, on saving fuel. That's one of our biggest costs at Melton. So we do have a fuel bonus up to an extra $6,000 a year you can earn. So it's actually $1,500 a quarter is how it's paid out. But if you're just smart, about your fuel intake and how you run your truck, you can get that. So, if it's pretty nice out, maybe 65 and sunny, maybe don't idle the truck. Or if you're running into the store for 15 minutes or something like that, maybe turn off the truck. Things like, we trust your judgment. We want you to do what you need to do to be safe and get a good night's sleep, because that equals safe driving. But just think about it every now and then, and you can get an extra $6,000. So, why not?
Right.
Yeah. Now we do offer a per diem program as well. Tax-free income is what it is essentially. So 14 cents of your cents per mile is tax-free. Now you're not necessarily making more money, but you're bringing home more money because less money is taken out in taxes, and you can just get that throughout the year and just keep that for yourself. It's really a win-win situation for everybody, honestly. Now, we do have a referral program, so say you come to Melton, you love it, you want to tell all your friends about it, everybody you met at CDL school, we offer a referral program to our drivers. So if you tell other students, you can get an extra $750 for the school, for the driver that you bring on. Or if you hire an experienced driver, tell them to come on to Melton and we hire them, you can get an extra $1,000 for that driver. So there's a whole bunch of different ways to make more money on top of your regular just driving mileage if you choose to take advantage of those.
Yeah. And I forgot to mention when I was talking about the pay, the first year entry level, and I speak more about entry level because we hire a lot of students, but it's probably anywhere from 65 to 72,000 first year.
Yeah.
Experienced drivers obviously are going to be probably more than that. So I did want to mention that.
Yes.
So the orientation, I'm going to talk about that a little bit, and then Skylar's going to talk about training while you're with your trainer. But these two pieces are really, really important. And in my experience recruiting for a long time, orientation can, set you up for the carrier that you're going to go work for. They should be very transparent about the job, training and all that stuff, and I feel like we really truly are. But it's 14 days here in Tulsa, so no matter where you live in the United States, this is where orientation would be. We provide the transportation to get you here. We can rent cars, we can fly you here. If you don't want to do those options, we can rent or get you a bus, not rent the whole bus, but we can get you a ticket. We can get you here. We provide meals, breakfast, hot breakfast at the hotel, lunch. We have a chef that makes our lunch. Chef Dawn is amazing, and I'm not talking pizza and stuff. I mean, they're nice, healthy, filling lunches. And then I mentioned the hotel. So breakfast, lunch, and then the hotel room's provided while you're here for that 14 days. So what are you going to be doing the whole time? Well, the first week's going to be a lot of talking to different departments that come in and visit about Melton and such, safety, payroll, and all that. And you'll start load securement training that week a little bit. And then the next week is that second week of orientation, and that's when you'll be doing a lot of load securement training. So we haul like steel and pipe and coils and lumber, a lot of building materials. And there's about 30 different kind of mock loads that we have set up for you guys to work on. And some loads are outside, some loads are inside, so it really gives you a good exposure to what the job really entails. And for those of you that have a little doubt about flatbed, I really, really encourage you to go to YouTube. I cannot think of his name. Do you know his name offhand? We have a guy that's
Terrence,
one of our trainers.
Yeah, Terrence Small, 50-plus trucker.
50-plus trucker. Go check him out because he gives a really good description of this job, and he talks a lot about flatbed. And I think people need to really have a good understanding about what it is, because you have to lift the tarps like she was talking about. They're heavy. They're 100 pounds. But a lot of people want to do flatbed because they like that physical work, and they like to get paid a lot of money. It's about an extra 10 grand a year. I know you brought it up on cents per mile on the tarp pay, but it's also, an extra about $10,000 a year in tarp pay alone. So a lot of people want to do flatbed. Most people that do flatbed want to do it. They like that physical work. They like better visibility in the back. They like hauling different loads and kind of thinking about that. It's just not maybe a steering wheel holder per se. They get out, they check, they work with loads and such. So it's more of a, I don't know, for some people rewarding that way. And some people don't want to do flatbed because they don't want to be exposed to the different weather
to the elements.
Yeah, and I get it. Doing tarping today in this ice would not be fun.
No, I don't blame them.
But there's a lot of times when there's warehouse, you can go into a warehouse and tarp, like at a customer's, because we're hauling things that we're not bumping docks a lot, like Skylar mentioned too. So it's like construction areas and steel mills and lumber mills and, you know, fencing, just thinking about the different things. We go to some coal mines in Arizona. We haul really neat things.
A wide variety, and like I want to say about 600 different types of things is what we haul. But during orientation, they'll teach you. I think if you get the basics down, you can tarp and secure pretty much anything.
Absolutely.
And then when you face something maybe that you haven't seen before, you'll be like, okay, well, but I know the basics, and I can make sure that I get this tarp and secured correctly. So that 2 weeks is really what you're going to be doing. That second week is a lot of load securement, like we were talking about, all hands on. You got, you know, people around say that will check your load and check your work, and so it's a really good thing to do and get really involved with before you get on with your trainer. Yeah, and a lot of our orientation supervisors are previous drivers with us.
Yes.
So they've been out there, they've done it, they know what they're talking about, so they're really good people to listen to and mentors.
I always forget to mention that, and that's a really good thing to mention, that she's 100% right. Most everybody that's teaching orientation here or working with our drivers has been a driver here at Melton.
Yeah.
So,
for a while.
Right.
Not just for a few months, for a while.
Yeah, and this is a great segue into our trainers and how fantastic they are. Skylar and
Leslie's very passionate about our training.
I love it. I'm gonna let you talk about it, but I just want to talk about it. But go ahead.
So our trainers, they've been with us for at least a year. They have a clean safety record. It's important when drivers are with us for a year because they go through all the seasons. You don't really think about that, but they go through summer, spring, fall, and winter. So they've faced it all kind of out on the road. And then they're with us, you know, for that time. They have a clean safety record. They go through an additional training to even become a trainer. Plus, you all, as a new grad or student, will take a personality kind of preference test, and then the trainers have done the exact same thing, and we match everybody up as best as possible. You know, you're with these people for 3 weeks in a truck. We want to make sure you have the best experience because this is honestly the foundation for your new career and your new life and things like that. We do not want it to be a bad experience. We want it to be a good experience. And that we're trying to do everything we can to make that possible. But those 3 weeks are super important. Not only are they teaching you about, you know, over the road lifestyle, flatbed, securement, you know, backing, like all these things. They're honestly teaching you how to live again. It's like you're going off to college and you have to learn how to do laundry and you have to learn how to shower and cook and things like that. So that's really what they're there for. A ton of our trainers are still friends with previous, you know, current drivers with us, previous drivers with us. They're our mentors. They, you know, will answer any call essentially from a driver and be able to help people out. That's honestly, it's a passion for them. They're not just doing it for, you know, the extra pay. They want to, you know, make the road safer for the world, and they want to, you know, train the next, you know, group of truck drivers.
100% accurate. What she just said. What I love about what you mentioned was that they're passionate. And you know, we vet these trainers. Why do you want to be a trainer? And we're looking for reasons like I want to help train and coach and mentor, like all those things you just said. They're not just doing it for the money. So that's awesome.
And our training is not like team driving. So I just highly suggest any company that you're looking at, Melton included, just ask how they do their training. So our trainers do not sleep behind our trainees. So they are awake when you're awake and asleep when you're asleep. So that's super important. You know, you can ask a question when they're sitting there in the passenger seat next to you if you need anything. They're there to give you any advice. It's not like they're going to be asleep in the back and you have to wake them up, you know. I'm not about to wake up somebody that's asleep. I know how grumpy I am when I get woken up, so I'm not about to do that to somebody else. So That's not how it works at Melton. They're there to train you. It is not like team driving.
Right.
So we really pride ourselves on our training program and how, in depth it is. But then after those 3 weeks with the trainer, you do make $700 a week when you are with your trainer. And then you'll come back to most likely Tulsa. We do have a few other terminals that you could get assigned your own truck, but most likely it's Tulsa. And then you'll hit the road from there. And that's really honestly when the real money starts kicking in.
Yep.
Yeah.
At how much again per mile?
52.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's loaded and empty, right?
Yes.
That's right. Okay.
Yes, loaded and empty.
So, very good. After now, which I'll briefly talk about as benefits, we have full medical, dental, vision, life, and 401k. We have a super great 401k where we match 50% of the first 7%, fully vested after 3 years, which means you can basically borrow money against your 401k and pay yourself back. So that's awesome. And that starts the first of the month after 60 days. It's extremely affordable. We've got packages for singles, a single and family or children, and single and spouse, so whatever.
Yeah, a variety.
Single and
So
spouse,
whatever works for you, we can adjust it. So for just a single, it's $25 a week for medical, and then add like an extra $5 for dental. And then vision is based off of a reimbursement program.
Yeah.
So it's pretty affordable. Mm-hmm. And actually at our Tulsa terminal, we offer an on-site gym and personal trainer if you want to take advantage of that. So we've mentioned, flatbed can be a pretty physical job, so we want to prepare you for that. Our gym's a little over 3,000 square foot. Brett, our personal trainer, can hook you up with meal plans and workout plans, ways to get in shape and stay in shape when you're out on the road. We even have our own Melton cookbook that our drivers kind of created, but Brett just put together in one book and has posted, and we give out to everybody if they want to take advantage of it. It's all up to you, of course, if you want to take advantage of these things, but it's pretty cool. And also in Tulsa, we do have an on-site doctor and dentist some days. The doctor's here every day, but the dentist is here some days. And you're welcome to take advantage of that. Now, that's completely free to all of our drivers. You don't have to be on our insurance. There's no co-pays. You are welcome to take advantage. You're like, okay, that's wonderful, but I live, say, in like California. I'm not going to go all the way to Tulsa just to go to the doctor. So we have a few other options, if you wanted to take advantage of that.
Like Teledoc.
Mm-hmm.
So this Teledoc, I'm not feeling good. I'm a driver, or, I'm maybe in, like you mentioned, California, and I live in Oklahoma. Well, crap, I can't get to the Oklahoma. So let me call Teledoc, and you can say, this is my symptoms, and then they can help prescribe things over the telephone or pharmacy that's close to where you're at. Mm-hmm. So that's extremely helpful. Anything else I want to mention about Teledoc?
Yeah, Teledoc, that's pretty much it. As long as you have internet on your phone, you're good to go. They do it 24/7, 365. Families welcome to take advantage of it too. Yeah. The reason behind this whole health, wellness, gym thing is because Bob, he just really wanted to instill that culture into his company. It's something that he's really passionate about, and let us take advantage of it as office employees, but then also as drivers too, as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And we do have a pretty, if you wanted to take your family with you out on the road, I did mention double bunk beds in our equipment. So if you want to take a rider with you, so anybody over 18 can ride any time, and anybody over 10 can ride in the summer, unless they are homeschooled. If they are homeschooled, then they can ride year round. We just have to have the correct paperwork for that. Now, rider policy typically brings up pet policy, so any dog or cat up to 90 pounds and no breed restrictions as far as the dog goes. So bring all your pets. That's what I say.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The pet and rider program is very, very generous. Mm-hmm. And once you get on your own truck.
Yes.
Yeah, you can take anyone over 18, as you mentioned, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then the, kind of spaced off there for a second. And the pet, so very generous.
Yeah. And there's no waiting period. So some companies may make you wait like 6 months or whatever to prove or something. Yeah. And then, but as soon as you're on your own truck, you're welcome to have a pet and a rider with you. We want to make sure that you're comfortable with, our company and out on the road.
Absolutely.
So it's pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So for our military, we really pride ourselves on our veteran, apprenticeship program. Our goal is to have about a third of our fleet be prior military and be veterans. We're very close to that, almost there, but we just kind of want to thank our veterans for their service. And a really cool way that we do that is through our VA apprenticeship program. So it's through your GI Bill. It's up to 2 years, and it's recognized by the Department of Labor and Veteran Affairs. But essentially, if you have access to your GI Bill and you want to use it, you don't have to, you can earn an extra $24,000 a year over those 2 years. So if you wanted to use 6 months, that's fine. If you wanted to use 18 months, that's completely up to you. You just let us know, but it's essentially extra pay on top of your regular, cents per mile with us.
Yeah.
So.
And you get, we have some American flag wrapped trucks. There's some pictures of them here in this brochure, or online too. You could probably see them on our website. And we kind of do, every once in a while when one of those comes available, we'll do, some of our veterans will say, hey, let's do a contest on and we'll donate or get that truck to a veteran that qualifies. So we do that. We don't have a whole lot of those, but I think we're going to get more of those as time goes. I'm not sure, but they're really, really cool.
Yes.
You get a special sticker for your truck if you're a veteran. And then we have like a department that handles all of our veteran needs in recruiting, a gentleman by the name of David Harper. And David is very skilled. He's a former Marine in our veteran VA program. So if you have any questions, David can help.
Yes, yeah, we can hook you up with him. Just give us
Yep.
a call and we'll get you his information.
Yep.
So home time, that's always a big question with us. So I-35 is kind of how we split up the country. It's really a highway that runs up the middle of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and kind of splits the country in half. So that's how we divide up the country. Now, if you are on the east side of that I-35, that's your out time would be 2 weeks out and then 2 days at home. If you're on the west side of that, your out time is going to be 3 weeks out and 3 days at home. Now, if you would like to see a map of this, it is on our website that kind of goes, you can see it visually, of course, and it's color coded and things like that to help better explain and grasp our out time. But essentially, it's every 7 days you're out on our over the road route, you get a day of home time. And our home time, it never expires, rolls over if you don't use it. You can bank up days, save them. I know drivers that have 20, 30, 40 days banked up. And if they wanted to take all those days straight off, more power to them. Those are the days that they earned, and that's a very unique thing to Melton. A lot of companies are like, you use it or lose it situation, but we don't want our drivers to feel that way because they earned it. They spent all that time out. We want to make sure that they're able to take advantage of it if they want to, take the time off. So definitely take a look at that map to help, see where you live and see what out time you would qualify for. And then we do have some regional options available, especially if you live in parts of Oklahoma or Texas, but let us know, where you live. We can kind of explain exactly what we have available. So just give us a call.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We have another thing going on right now. It's called the Road Warrior Program, and I think we've got that going until June of this year. And I hope we make this a permanent thing because it's really cool. If you stay out for 3 weeks, so 3 weeks is the critical number you got to know. If you stay gone for at least 3 weeks, you get an extra day at home. So she explained you get 1 day off for every 7 you're out. So if you're out for 3 weeks, you get that extra day. So you get 4 days off if you'd like, or you can take $200. So let me repeat that. If you stay out for 3 weeks, you have to do that. 3 weeks, and you get an extra day at home or $200. You choose.
Yeah.
We don't choose it. You choose it. Okay. What if I stayed out 6 weeks? Now I'm going in increments of 3. This is the thing you guys got to remember. It's increments of 3.
Yeah.
So if I stayed out 6 weeks, then I'd get how many days off?
You could have 2 extra days off.
Right.
So if you stay out 6 weeks, you get 6 days.
Right. Plus.
So you could either have 2 extra days or an extra $400.
And check it out.
Or you could have 1 extra home day or an extra $200. So you can mix and match. You know, it's
Yep.
really up to you. And this
Yep.
is something that our drivers came up with in the round table. And they completely came up with this concept, named the concept, and it's something we've just taken with and rolled with it.
Yeah. What if I stayed out 9 weeks?
Then you'd have 3 extra home days or $900.
See?
I can't do math.
Again, it's increments of 3, but if you stayed out 12, again, you would have earned 12 days. I mean, and theoretically, you could do this.
Yeah.
You can choose what you want to do. And like she said, even aside from the Road Warrior program, we let you bank all these days and earn all these days, and you never, ever, ever lose them. If I earn 10 days off and I want to take 10 days, I can. If I want to take 5, I can. The other 5, I can bank, roll over to another home time or next year, or it doesn't matter. That is the beauty of our home time.
Yeah.
We have a very cool home time policy, you guys. So, guys and gals. So, it's very important to understand that because it's good. You can take home time anywhere except for about 7 states. And I'll tell you what those
No, I
states
can
are.
name them off the top
Oh,
of my
you
head.
can?
I've memorized them. It's actually, there's 9. So
Is it
it's
9?
Florida, we're going to start. I'm going to go Florida, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire,
Yep.
North and South Dakota, Wyoming, Montana,
Did you say
Idaho.
Yep.
That was it. That
Yep,
was
that's
9.
it.
Yeah.
So those states, we can't let you take home time. But you,
Unless you live there.
correct. Right.
Yeah.
Say, let's just use Tulsa. I live in Tulsa. If I want to take home time, my home time in LA, and I can go there. I want to go to Seattle, I can go there. If
Yeah.
I want to go to
Tennessee.
Right, Nashville, Birmingham, Chicago, New York City, all those states I can go to, other than those 9
Yeah.
that she mentioned. I can take, then the next time if I want to come back to Tulsa, I can come back to Tulsa.
Yeah.
If I want to go see my grandma in wherever, I can.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really, really, really cool. And then you can flip flop and go back to where you're living, for your home time is. And then we get guaranteed home for Christmas. That's a big deal.
Yes.
Most carriers don't do that. And then we give you a couple guaranteed home time days to use throughout the year. Over the road and the word guarantee do not go hand in hand. But we do have these 2 guaranteed home time in addition to Christmas that we let you use for any reason. And one question a lot of people ask is, what happens if I'm on the road and something serious happens at home? I'm in Tulsa. I live in Tulsa, but I'm in Seattle, Washington, and I need to get back because we will do our best to get you back ASAP. I want everyone to know that's really important. We do a really neat job of getting people home. But also
We kind of have a whole department for it, essentially, called
Yeah.
driver services, and that's really what they do is handle situations
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Is they work with your driver manager to solve problems. They work
Yeah.
with operations to handle really anything that comes along. So
yeah. So I just wanted to mention that about that because I think that's really cool. So
yeah.
All right.
So if you think of any questions or anything like that, feel free to give us a call. I'll give you my phone number. Once again, my name's Skylar. You can call me at 918-270-9419. That's 918-270-9419. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Or if you wanted to get on our website or anything like that, or just call into our main recruiting number, that is 888-861-6181. Again, that number is 888-861-6181.
And then if you have that driver pulse app like you were talking about, that's the best way for someone
Yes.
to go ahead and apply. If you'd like to do that too,
Yes.
and get the application in, or however, I just wanted to mention that about that driver pulse.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yeah.
So we appreciate your time and
Yeah.
hope you guys have a great rest of your
Yep,
day.
yep. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.